Web scraping is one of my most favorite tasks to do within Python anytime I get the chance to actually program. It's usually web scraping projects outside of my actual, standard 9 to 5 job. And in this case, I'll go and show you my favorite way of web scraping. Now, this may not be the most optimal way, but this is the way that I typically do it. I wrote about this almost 2 years ago now, which is pretty wild. And in this article, I basically broke down how to do it. It had a lot of issues. It probably wasn't even that great of an article, but I want to make a video portion of it. Now, we want to start off by importing and pip installing a few different packages. The first thing I'll tell you is that there are more than one packages you can use. There's Beautiful Soup, there's some other crazy ones too. In this case, I am using Selenium. It's one of my most favorite ones to use. You can use it if you want to. If you don't, you can use some other ones. So what we can start off by doing is pretty much pip installing our Selenium package. Now, if you don't have pip installed or you don't have Python installed, this is not a video you want to watch. I'll leave my other video that I showed how to install Python and install pip and all that linked below so you can watch it before watching this video. So now when you're ready, you can go ahead and pip install Selenium. So you can pip through install or pip install, whatever you want to do. And in this case, we can just start off by installing that. I've already installed it. And the other one, it is optional, but I did install WebDriver Manager. So this was a package, it's pretty much just a way to handle the web frameworks that you have within your Python environment. It wasn't working for me when I first tried it. I did have to install this within Selenium. So you can go ahead and install it separately. Maybe you already installed within. So you may just want to go ahead and pretty much pip install WebDriver Manager right there. Not like that, but like this. And by the way, all these instructions will be linked in the description and all the code will be linked below too. So don't. Actually, I'll just leave the article link down below so you can just read this and you can, follow the instructions from here. Now, when we have everything installed, we want to go ahead and start off by importing our several packages. So one, we can import Selenium, which we really don't even have to do since we're already importing it right here. So I imported WebDriver. I imported Pandas. You can pip install Pandas, but you probably have it installed already. And I did install my WebDriver. So again, this code is all below, so you don't have to copy it from my screen. You can just copy it below. And in this case, I will be using my Chrome. So Google Chrome will be the web browser I will be using. But again, you can use Firefox or your native one. In this case, I will be using Chrome because it's just a better one for me. Now kind of comes the fun part. So we can now find a website that we want to use in our specific web scraping example. So in this case, I did use a Amazon website. So we want to go ahead and bring in our Amazon website with this following command. So we will be setting up our driver, which will basically be like our website. We use the WebDriver command, and in this case, we use Google, like we did up here. And this will basically be our Chrome driver manager. This will be our WebDriver in a way. So we can start off by importing and doing all this and running this code. Now, in this case, this will be initializing the website, the WebDriver, the web browser in a way. So once we run this, you'll get some scary looking code here. It's going to install it. And actually what happens is it actually opens up a completely different web browser. So if you do not have Google Chrome installed, you will want to make sure you have Google Chrome installed. Now next up, we get to import our website in a way. So in this case right here, I did already load up an Amazon example. So here is a website that we'll be using. You can use any website you want to. It is pretty much universal. Most websites are able to be, pretty much web scraped. There are some examples you will not be able to use. But in this case, you can see it's just an Amazon website. It's a pretty basic website, nothing crazy going on with it. So in this case, what I did was you can just use this driver command, this little variable that we had assigned earlier to our website, and we want to use this .get command. What this does is that it essentially allows us to pull up a website here. So you can see how I manually brought it up. Well, if I didn't do that, I can go ahead and pretty much bring it up here. So you want to copy the website link that you want to go ahead and get, and you can paste that within here. So that is basically it. Now, if I go ahead and close out of this website, and if I go ahead and kind of import it, you will see you'll get some, it'll run the code down here. And you can see there is an error. Maybe because the session expired or something. So all I have to do now is just go and run this code once more. It'll go ahead and open up that web browser one more time. And then all you're going to have to do is use this driver get command, run it, and then it'll go ahead and open up the same exact website. So that's pretty much all you're going to have to do here. Now, next up is the fun part. This is where we can go ahead and basically scrape our website. So these two commands right here, are the ones where I can go ahead and basically assign variables to different data sets. Now, the driver command is again the variable we assigned earlier for our website. It's a very important one, so we'll be assigning that. Now, if we wanted to scrape the title, we want to start off by making a variable called title, which we've just done. So the title would essentially just be title right here. The driver is just that driver that we assigned earlier for the website. Now, the .find element by XPath, there are several different commands that you can use within Selenium. And you can actually Google Selenium find by commands, and there are tons of different commands that you can actually use. So in this case, I am using the find by XPath, and I like using the XPath a little bit more. I feel like it gives me a little bit more flexibility, but there are other commands you can use. I'm sure there's like find by so many different ones. I don't want to just embarrass myself because I don't really know all of them. But in this case, I use find by XPath. And then this is going to change depending on exactly what you're going to want. But I'll go and show you that in a second. But we want to end it off with .text because we want the text of that, and we don't actually want the code behind this. We just want the text of it. So this will make sense in a second. Now, in this case, we used Chrome, right? Well, a very cool thing that we have within Google Chrome is the ability of finding by and inspecting our element. So in this case, what we're going to want to do is we want to right-click on the text or the data that we want. So in this example, let's say we wanted to go ahead and grab the title of the product and we want to grab the price. Well, in this case, we just want to go ahead and highlight over a piece of the text that has that, text or data that we want inside of it. I'm going to go ahead and right click and I'm going to go and click on inspect element. Now, a little scary thing is going to pop up on the side. Don't be alarmed. It's very, very basic stuff to understand. It's basically just the elements and the code behind these projects. Now, personally for me, I have to basically do this twice. You may not have to do this on your machine, but just do it again and inspect element twice, and then it'll go and highlight exactly where you're going to want to go. So just remember, if it doesn't work the first time, just inspect element again, and you will see it'll give you this little variable of product title. And if you hover over it, you will see that it actually does hover over the complete title. So now all you're going to want to do is right click on that. You want to go and click copy, and you want to copy the full XPath right there. So do not copy just the standard XPath. It doesn't work for me. It may work for you. You can try it. But here I have to copy the full XPath. And all you're going to want to do is replace this text that I have right here on the code down below, basically between these two commas, with that XPath that you want. So in this case, it's going to be the same thing. And you can do the same thing for price. So again, the standard, universal way to do this, you're creating your variable, whatever that variable is. You want to go ahead and create that variable, assign it to a name. You want to use the driver.findBy command. In this case, we're using the XPath. You want to give it the XPath that you want to go ahead and scrape it from, and you want to make sure you end it off with the .text. So again, for the price, for this example, we would hover over the price, whatever it is. You would click inspect. You would just verify that it does give you the right, XPath. You can kind of eye it and kind of see. Sometimes you may have to click it twice. Right click on it, click copy, and then copy full XPath, and then copy and paste that into between these two commas, and that is it. Now, when we run these, you will see, hopefully it didn't time out, but you will see that we get not only, once I go ahead and print out these two variables, you will see that not only do we get the price, but we also get the text right up here. So that is that. I mean, how exciting is this that we actually do have some data here? Now, this is a, standard example. This is not anything crazy. So now if we go ahead and go down one more, you can see that, as I mentioned earlier, we do have the pandas dataset, actual package installed. So I did that because you can go ahead and create a standard, data frame, nothing crazy, and you can go ahead and load up that data with, this data that we have right up here by appending it within that specific data frame I created earlier. This might not even be the best logic, it's just kind of winged it. And now if we go ahead and if we wanted to, print our full DF, we can just go and print full DF like this, and watch. It should hopefully print out the data frame with, the name of that product and the total price right there. So that is basically how you do it. Again, this code will be linked down in the description, probably via my article. So this article will be linked up below. And hopefully it kind of breaks down how to web scrape within, Python. It's very basic stuff. And this is just the starting point. There's endless possibilities. A basic way, like I think I asked the question here later, is, how you can further on and implement this. If you want to go ahead and, create different loops in here where, it goes through several different websites, or it loops through different pages. Selenium is very, very powerful. You can click buttons within Selenium. It's pretty wild stuff. I have it tied, I've built tons of projects within Selenium. with different UIs, and you click a button and it does certain things. And Selenium is the backbone, and it kind of starts with this type of project. So if it helped you out, please let me know. If there's anything I can improve on, let me know that as well. You can subscribe if you want to. If you don't, who cares? So thanks for watching.